Hey everybody, it's Jenn with Lady Tarot 911. How's it going? Hopefully everybody's doing good today. The lunar eclipse is happening. So releasing or beginning to release, or maybe you've already kind of felt this energy, but bringing up old issues, old problems, challenges, things from the past and letting them go, moving on from them, ridding them from your life, if not for your greater good. Okay, I feel that one right there. So you are gaining influence and a platform, following of individuals who are drawn to your message. Your energy is like a star, a standout. You are standing out to those around you. You are becoming a beacon, or your person is becoming a beacon to others. Now, so that is if the energy is flipped, right? Because there's just this inner star that we're finding within ourselves, or at least this inner love, the self-love that we're asked to look at during this time period, during this energy. So tell me what else. There is wow. Okay. There has been some type of really unfortunate loss in your life. Loss of job, money, stability, home, family, a way of life, tradition. There's been a loss of something or someone irreplaceable, and the emptiness for you feels really unbearable. If this is your reading, if you came here, there's something that you are supposed to know, supposed to have validated for you. The reason that you're here is so that I can validate, okay, let me back up. We all are learning and on this trajectory of learning where we don't need outside validation. But where I found my greatest strength was in tarot when I was going through my spiritual awakening. And well, one of them, I mean, I've had a few, but going through my awakening, the reason that I got into tarot is because I didn't tell anybody. And so the tarot actually became my, like, listening to my reads and my readers that I still listen to about 5 of them that have become my staple readers. And those readers are who have really taught me and brought me through really hard times. And it was the stability of feeling validated that I wasn't going crazy. That was the biggest thing. I've told that story before, but you're here for validation. And I am validating to you that there is a huge loss that has happened in your life. And this has almost made you feel like life was unbearable. The universe really wants to get a message out that through creativity, whatever your dreams are, whatever thoughts, projects, leaps of faith, kind of taking off from the read yesterday about taking a leap of faith, moving on. The universe is sending out promises, and I found it so fascinating the way that something was explained. And it was explained by Steve's Love Tarot, because he's one of my go-to readers. He's actually my number 1 go-to reader. And so did you see that? Gaining influence, miraculous luck, a 7 card, and magic of belief. So he explained something that was just fascinating. I hadn't learned something that big in quite a while. I'm always learning, but it was just one of those things that was like, it hit me. He believes that the energy is setting up to almost offer us, because the hopelessness, the problems that people are having with faith, and hence magic of belief, okay? The issues that are really affecting our society, the hopelessness, the where to turn, has things that become dim, right? And in society, he has this belief that the universe is actually saying, here, listen, if you do this, I'm going to reward you with this, because if you're doing this to help this person, and I do the same for this person, that's going to help this person, it almost encourages us all as a collective to help each other get this sense of there is hope, there is peace, there is a different direction, there can be resolution, there can be hope in such dim times, in such dark times, because the energy is kind of setting up that way. So this right here is saying that if you can allow for the possibility, right, that through, obviously unicorns are fantasy or in dreams or whatever, luck, right? This is saying that there's going to be, if you can believe enough to get out of this energy from loss, depletion, hopelessness, that is spreading right throughout the world. If you can get out of this, there is a promise that as you are looked at and gain influence in the example that you set or the things that you do, you wouldn't guess would really affect people. In this energy, it's going to affect people. And then it's almost like a pay it forward type of deal. And it is almost like a deal. It's like a deal that the universe is making with each of us. If you get out and you speak your truth, you are an example of truth. You are an example of creativity, starting your projects. And I talked about this special ops yesterday with the military. If you can look at getting beyond this grief and sadness and feelings of hopelessness and that this lack of mentality and move to more of an energy of, okay, I believe in myself. I believe in this intuition that I have that I need to go this certain direction, or I need to start this certain project, or I need to take this leap of faith. If you can do that, the universe is promising that there's going to be huge luck and not just fantasy. If you've got this magic of belief, there is going to be this fate that smiles upon you, aligning the stars to open a path of unexpected fortune. So nothing that you can see, just what you have to believe, magic of belief. And let me read that. When you believe in the magic of the universe, you activate portals beyond the reach of logic. You're not going to be able to think about how this works out. Following a creativity path. Who wants to stop our creativity? The devil, right? Devil energy. So there's also going to be deceit that rides side by side with you trying to start this creativity, this project, this new business, this new job, this leap of faith, moving somewhere, starting school, doing something creative with your life. When that happens, the red flags start going off for the devil, right? And devil energy starts to, creep in, and there's lies and deceit of people who are in a different energy wanting to keep you stuck where you're at, tell you it's not a good idea, not want you to move on, not want you to grow. And you have to be able to use your intuition to see through that, to understand what they're doing. So I go back to where I say, think about the intention. What is your intention? It needs to be for the greater good. It needs to be for the creativity of your life, because creativity opens up this portal of hope. Hope opens up portals of healing for people, right? So it's kind of like this layer, like I talked about, layer and layer and layer of energy, that it's kind of like some type of explosion or boom. It kind of ricochets, and it's like a wavy type of pattern. It's the same thing with so again, we all like the way that AI works. We all collectively, when I grow, you energetically get the benefit of that, and you grow too. Same with what you do. So when you grow, I grow. And so not only when we grow, right, we're helping those outside of us, but when we start to use our creativity, it affects other people, it helps other people, it inspires other people to then do the same. The universe is like, okay, we got to really get this show on the road, right? So I'm going to essentially bribe you. Universe is unibribing you. And I'm going to say, hey, listen, if you start your creativity like now, you take that leap of faith like now, you move in a different direction, you better your life, you go in a direction and stop staying stagnant like now, heal or just get things rolling in motion, right? Efforts, it's the intention and the efforts, and you get that going. I'm going to give you a great reward. You will have earned a great reward that I'm going to give you, that I'm going to actually bestow upon you. That's going to actually make the results of what you're doing go faster. The results will be faster. You'll have more energy. You'll be supported. You'll have the support of the divine, of the creator, of the universe. You have that support, because it is so imperative that we all go that direction, and we learn to be authentic, and we learn to start these businesses, because they trickle down and they all help each other, and we are all connected hand in hand. This is not unrealistic. This is not fairyland, but yet it's going to feel like that. The influence that you are to somebody with your creativity is going to be so powerful that it helps the universe so much. The universe is willing to give us almost immediate results, or immediate support, or immediate resources, or things that we have struggled with, those healing quicker. The results of starting businesses or side hustles, or finding a new job, or finding a new home, or healing relationships, or getting creative in the way that you feel, following your dreams, essentially. It says, when you believe in the magic of the universe, you activate portals beyond the reach of logic. Your energy expands and your vibration shifts, unlocking new dimensions of possibility and serendipity. There is a lot of having to just believe. The reason that works is because what we think, feel, say, do, all when that goes out into the ethers, goes out into society, goes outside of ourselves, it's exactly what we get that comes back, right? But what that also does is that it's our perspective of the way that the world is turning around us. And so if we believe that it's going to be successful, we have belief that it's going to work, it creates, like it said, these portals, or this the ripple effect, where then other people believe that they can do it, and then they do it, and so on and so forth. But then also, because what comes back to us, and we see the universe's promise of, okay, I'm going to show you the results that are going to be, and when I say immediate, obviously it has to be divine timing, so, but it's going to be a lot quicker than maybe it was or would have been if not for this energy. But the immediate or sooner results of what the efforts that you're putting in that are going to transpire, that's a promise from the universe, because it is so dire that we get into this energy, not only for us, but for everybody involved, for the collective, for because the darkness that is threatening to create this veil, is the threat is so high that we've got to start shifting the energy, and we've got to start looking at the ways that we can change. It's so imperative that we change our perception, was my point about that, because we create the world as we see it. And so if we see it as terrible, and that it just continues to snowball, the vibration of the world, it ends up becoming a lower and lower vibration, and more people are affected, and then more problems happen, and then more hopelessness, and it's just this really toxic effect. And so we're trying to reverse that, and the way to do that is to follow your dreams and essentially get blessed. So how about that? Now that's super simplified, obviously, but it gives you an idea of like what this is saying. But let's go ahead and put these aside, and we'll remember kind of that message. That was a great message about starting, getting going for it. Now, at first, there is a real need to just play a neutral, give it a neutral vibe, give it a neutral tone in your mind and in your head, because you don't want to. Let me relate it to, so when I worked in L&D in OB, patients, C-section patients, and if you've had a C-section, you know this, but the patients will get up the second day and feel like for the most part just amazing. They feel they have energy, baby's out, so they're feeling a little lighter, they're excited about the new baby. It's just things, unless you get like a spinal headache from your epidural or whatever, but things for the most part are awesome. So patients usually tend to like go and are so excited, and they go back and forth to the nursery, and they have all these visitors and all this stuff, and day 3 is when their body kicks in and says, what the hell did you just do to me yesterday? And it's because they didn't just stay on a neutral, like, okay, I'm going to still rest, I'm glad I feel good, but I'm really going to just take a stoic tone in reference to like overdoing it. No, they overdid it and overindulged on that energy day 2, which caused almost like a catch up, this ball rolling. It got it rolling so fast that by day 3 it hits them really fast, and it was too much, and then they really suffer and they hurt, and they're taking more medication. I'd really try and tell them, okay, this is what's going to happen, so try and evaluate that and assess how much are you taking on day 2. Let's try and make it 3 decent days versus 1 hard day, 1 really great day, and then 1 really like shitty, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that day, which would have been day 3 anyways. So same thing with this energy. So when this year of the fire horse, plus Venus in Aries, plus Jupiter going direct, right, which is about expansion. Venus is, when in Aries, it's just like this combustion of heat and passion and forward movement. And then Mars is going to go into Aries. You're talking a lot of overindulgence possibilities. So you gotta be aware of that and be careful. There's heated arguments. Oh, look at that. Volatility. See why I love tarot? Be mindful of emotional power plays or passive aggressive behaviors. Okay? Yeah, exactly what I was saying. So volatility. Okay, let's start there. with all of that stuff happening, and that's just some of it. Yeah, no wonder, right? No wonder we're saying, hey, let's take some breaths and let's just hold back a little bit and let's just ride the river, right? Okay. So let's see. Tell me about this volatility. Who is, or what is? Well, we'll start out with. Yeah. Well, I guess that's just wanted to really like point out. So we'll put that to the side and point out kind of what I was talking about, the volatility of this energy. Okay. So it means tarot's listening. My cards are listening, supporting what I'm telling you. That was just a lot of channeling and information that I thought you guys should have. So tell me about what is this read about? We had this yesterday. Moving on. Energy overlaps each other, right? It doesn't just go and stop and then go and stop. It just like it continues on the river as well. So moving on. So there could be a need. We talked about the nostalgia yesterday as well too, and the need to hold on to things of the past. Again, in this lunar eclipse energy and this full moon in Virgo is about letting go and moving forward, moving on, and the need to release anything that's not serving us. And I know you hear that over and over and over again. But these moons, and especially the eclipse, which is like an intensification of that, is the perfect time to actually do what it is meant to do, which is to help you accept what is and move forward and move on, and just hope for like a integration, like I said yesterday, an integration of the lessons of the past, looking back at it and being okay with, okay, I did that, check it off the bucket list. I experienced that, check it off. I learned from that, and those things I'm not going to do again. These things are going to make me stronger, and I'm going to move forward with that type of attitude. Easier said than done, but I have been there, and I have had to do that multiple times in my life. So I do know what I'm talking about, and I do put my, what is that saying? Money where your mouth is? Basically, I'm guessing value of what I'm saying. I've actually done it. So, and of course we're falling on the floor again. So hold on. New beginnings. Of course. Okay. Nope. That goes in the middle. So that is current energy. New beginnings. What this full moon in Virgo today is about. New beginnings. What led up to this? There's been a new identification for yourself of either self-love or love for a dream, love for a direction, love for something that you had in the past or that you dreamed to do in the past that maybe is coming back up. We are also in a Mercury retrograde, right? So a retrograde brings things back around, including love for things in our life. So that could be love for things in childhood, dreams that we had that, we thought, I let go of that a long time ago. That's not a possibility, blah, blah, blah. Anything's possible. But there is this, what's stopping it is this need of moving on and needing to move forward with this. Oh, so this is the Ace of Wands. So about passionate new beginnings, growth, right? Ascension. We talked about the growth on the wands yesterday. So this is about moving forward in a new direction, being a little uncomfortable for a little bit. And okay, this was rocking in my hand, so I feel like this is what I need to pull next. But being a little uncomfortable until we get settled, and then you're going to get comfortable in this new spot, and then it's going to change again. And that's just the way that life is. If you stay stuck in one place, it's not growth, it's not living. It's basically being an NPC, a non-playing character. You just are there. So it's underneath the deck. So this is going to be about subconsciously. So something about disconnecting. I'm feeling like there is problems or issues with disconnecting. Let's see. How does this person in my viewer's life that this is about, or it being my person, how are they feeling about themselves, or how are they feeling about my viewer? They're feeling judged. Hold on. Basically, I was trying to say that this disconnection, I feel like there is a wall, a blockage that is keeping somebody from embracing this new beginning or embracing the possibility of such. And that's where like the magic of belief card comes into play, right? Believing that it will be, that the promises will be given to us if we can just, it takes that moment, that leap of faith, and then we're rewarded. And I'm hearing rewarded pretty quickly after that. So if you had any doubts, that's what's I'm feeling being channeled through me, is that there is a promise that won't take long. You'll start to see the rewards or the benefits being that were promised for taking that action. Oh, that's interesting. So this one fell, but it fell and it's standing up. So standing up and making plans. How about that? I take everything into account in my reads. Planning is at the head of the matter. Making changes, getting past the sphere of change. So this is such a clear-cut read of, I would have to pull more cards and go deeper into this, which I can probably connect these and not just leave it surface read, so we can see some of the blocks and I'll get advice. But yeah, it's all about transformation, the Death card. So we're talking about fire energy here. We've got wands quite a bit. The cups are all in reverse. So to me, that is a real telltale sign of and plus the love card is here though. There's been a push for more love in a situation, or love for yourself to get out of a situation. But we've got King of Cups in reverse. We've got a Six of Cups in reverse. We have the Two of Cups in reverse. Somebody is really being obstinate about balancing out the need for maybe love and pentacles, materialism, or love or money. Maybe somebody will lose money if they move on. Maybe maybe they feel like they're going to lose the investments that they've made, the hard work that they've, and this could be you. Maybe you're in fear of just, you went one direction, worked really hard for it, and now maybe being pushed in a different direction, a direction maybe you weren't expecting. If dreams come back around, you weren't really expecting that to happen, or a person comes back around. So with that, there becomes this volatility and this pushback, and maybe not loving it so much, the direction that you're being, pushed to go or encouraged to investigate and move towards. Maybe it's scary. Fear very much is the basis of the resistance that takes place, but I'm not taking all those cards. So my finger was there, but I'll go with this one. So this is like in the near future. So Pentacles, what was I just saying? Mastering a job. Maybe there's fear of, with a new job, or putting in the effort. We could look at this a couple different ways. Putting in the effort, or with like a new job, or mastering a certain skill. Maybe there's a fear of that you're not good enough. But again, that's like the love of ourselves that we need to embrace, and have that belief that we can do it, that it will be successful, because that's what you'll get back. If you put out that it's going to be successful, that is what is going to come back to you, is it will be successful. And now wishful thinking and intent, or putting that out like that, wishful thinking is putting it out there and then also coating it with a little candy coating of doubt. And that's not going to get you anywhere. And that's why when you put it out that way, it might come back to you opposite, is because of the doubt that you put out with it. So send it out there with, I know this is going to work out and it's going to work beautifully, and I can visualize it, and leave it there. Like, leave it there and let the universe take it from there. And that is how I've manifested my things in my life. But again, that devil energy comes in and says, you can't do it. You're not qualified. What the hell are you thinking? But again, transformation, the Death card is upright, which means endings and, what is this? New beginnings, right? Endings and new beginnings. So at current play, there's new beginnings that are happening as these endings, which are, some of them are wonderful endings. We just don't know it yet. Others, we were hoping for certain endings, or to transform or get out of things or move forward. But this is this is like the final outcome of the situation. There is, and this is why this week is so huge. Even if it doesn't take place this week, this is the energy. That's why we say that, is because we're ending on a major arcana card, right? Which is big. So the last position in my Celtic Cross that I have is, I usually do before the potential final ending, but I'm not, because this is the action that you will most likely take if you follow all of this. The action outcome, what would that be for my viewer if they actually took this leap of faith, went this direction, changed their life up? Okay, so this is saying that there will be action that's taken, and it's saying you're charging forward with purpose, express your intentions confidently. So that's a win-win, ding, ding, ding. Yes, you're going to do it. Okay. And there's going to be reflection, right? Which is good, because what I talked about, reflection of the past and having that moment to seek that inner guidance and follow that intuition of, okay, and you might get those little pushback moments because we are human and it has been built into us to have those like fire off of, that's your fight or flight or your ego going, are you sure you want to do that? Let's not go that direction. Or you might get hurt, you might not be good enough, you might get rejected, right? Ego. But that's exactly what our ego is supposed to do for us, also to help keep us from getting into trouble. Now, if you're following your intuition, it's not going to lead you into problems or into trouble, unless you needed to learn from the problems, right? The challenge is just learn how to overcome them. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm sleepy. Well, I obviously showed you this card. You saw this card when I was doing that, so I don't know what it is yet, though. Improvement. We'll take it. This is kind of just another one of those imperfect readings, right? I'm just going with it. But look at that. So the way that I use the bottom of the deck is, this is like universe talking to us, divine God giving us answers to things. And so this is coming from the universe directly. Improvement, right? Circumstances, you felt so left out in the cold and so either behind, or that you didn't fit in, or that you felt like it's not where you were really supposed to be, but you've been trying to talk yourself into it, right? So there is going to be improvement after this little moment of time. So you take the action, and then there's going to be some reflection, right? Because you need to learn from the experiences that you were already in. So it's going to take that reflection time. And then there is improvement. Circumstances are beginning to improve, opening new doors to financial ability. Financial, it's saying even. So good for your money. So now let's just, as I told you I would do, we're only on 20 minutes. So that shows you kind of the energy that we're in. Obviously it's overlapping a little bit from yesterday, but it's also, it's giving hope, and it's offering kind of me passing on from what Steve said. And those are totally his words and opinions, but I loved it because it makes so much sense. It's almost like it's like a unibribe. And I talked about what was the other thing I said? Did I call it a unibribe earlier? I called it a uni something. But it's almost like a bribe. It's almost like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll make sure that this is done and you're rewarded, or you have the support, that you need, or I'll make sure that it happens type of deal, so that you can affect and influence those around you, and also to give hope and to help others, because you're growing. So if you're growing, others are growing as well. And then again, that raises the vibration of the planet and balances things out, which is exactly the only thing that the universe, that's like the only job, right? Okay. What am I asking? I don't know what I'm asking yet, but I'm obviously shuffling. So I guess subconsciously, I'm so sorry. Okay. So what are some blockages that we have to get over, that we have to, and I'm taking the same cards that popped out. So somebody's going to come back and try and apologize. Okay, hold on. There could be this energy of, well, hold on. So disharmony, defeat. Okay, now I'm going to try and tie them all together. Moving forward, moving on, if this is a relationship, somebody is going to try to apologize or come into your energy. And the way that my cards are laying, the innocence is on the left, disharmony is in the middle, defeat is in the future position, disharmony is kind of in the current. So it could be somebody, okay, I always get segued. I promise I'll bring it all together. I'll back up and bring it all together. But remember me saying that Steve says when the end of a reading wraps around to the things you were talking about in the beginning of a reading, it's a good reading and it means that it's valid. We were talking about temptation, right? And the possibility that somebody would be stuck in a situation because of temptation. There's going to be somebody who apologizes or who offers something that is sweet or offers something that is, I'm hearing delightful, something that is wanting to keep you or your person where they're at, okay, not moving forward. And I know this because this is in the past position. Doing this, following this, not really listening to your intuition and being very blatantly honest with it can bring this to a complete upside down flip of the Ten of Cups. Disharmony, strained relationships in your family or personal life could leave you feeling isolated. Okay, I get it. I keep yawning. Somebody's bored. Somebody's bored where they're at, in their job, in a relationship, what they're doing. That's why I keep yawning, I'm sure. Besides the fact that I'm tired, it keeps happening and I take everything into account. Somebody's bored. Make sure that you are not on the other end of that and just somebody's good time or somebody's solution for something new, like shiny toy syndrome, that you're not the shiny new toy that they want to play with in all ways that is intended. Hint, hint, hint. But there will be a reversal of Ten of Cups if this is allowed to play out the way it is, where you stay stuck and stagnant because of a continuance of cycles, a continuance and not transforming, not choosing to improve or grow. All the things that we were talking about, right? You wouldn't reflect, you wouldn't grow. You're not helping the world, society, the collective of people if you don't grow, right? Because your energy's then not, it's not happening. There's no quantum entanglement. It's just stagnant. And stagnancy it's doing nothing is a decision, and it's not a good one because you don't grow your energy. So you're not helping the greater good. You're not giving of yourself and your energy to help build the vibration of the planet and of others, which is what we're supposed to be doing. And rightfully so, there's going to be this Ten of Swords, this very painful ending. Okay, so this wraps me around to what I was saying yesterday about the Tower. I was saying that if you don't choose, and this is just for all of us, right? It's not just you. If you don't choose to make change or move forward or take baby steps to better yourself or anything to ascend or help you grow, this to me is very much the tower energy. And I said yesterday, if you don't create a change, right, the universe will create a tower, and you don't want that because they can be very painful and long. And if this is very much encouraging you to take those, after there's been some reflection of where you've been and the lessons that you've learned, and taking things in an even, balanced way and not overindulging. If that is done, then it's saying that the tower won't come down. And some people, they need the tower to be able to jolt them out of that energy. But okay, what's crossing it? Oh, departure. So same thing again, wrapping it all together, moving on. Departure. So okay, so this is great. I mean, that's positive. That's positive outcome energy, where somebody is moving on from the temptation. This could be about you or your person. And we did talk about yesterday, I said that it's great because the World card came in to show that it was going to be the end of stagnation. Well, this is saying the same thing. Again, pretty much same energy. Somebody is moving on from being tempted again, which is great. They're not going to go around in circles. And okay, so that makes sense of why volatility. Be mindful of emotional power plays or passive aggressive behaviors. This is the people around you, or your person, or a job, or money, or comfortability, or culture, or parental guilt, or childhood downloads, or parents, baby mamas, baby daddies trying to put guilt upon you. That's this. But in this energy, it's saying that we are moving on from this. And those promises that have been made by the universe are very valid, and you will be blessed, and you will see those rewards fairly soon after, if not just like the resources, you'll feel the hand of fate and the universe encouraging you and walking you, like I said yesterday, walking you through these changes, which is huge. You're not alone. So I'm going to grab by the way, that said graceful flow. Sorry. A graceful flow. You adapt. So you will adapt in this situation. Oh, and I already talked about that. I said, then you'll get comfortable right here where you're at in this new place that you were uncomfortable to get to. You bend where others break. You are not defined by control, but by response. Your ability to pivot, to read the room. Oh, all I can hear in my head is pivot from Friends. Oh, okay, so let's relate those two. So there could be friends in your life who want you to pivot and not go the direction of growth. FYI, that's how that could play in. Everything's connected, remember? Your ability to pivot, to read the room, to adjust course mid-flight is not a lack of stability, it's a mark of evolution. You meet change without panic and find solutions when the map goes missing. Oh, I like that. You become fluent in change because you know life is about flowing, which we talked about, not resisting. So you know what? We're going to end with that. That is perfect. That matches this read beautifully. So flow. That's the advice. The energy is moving from being stuck, stagnant, feeling guilty, falling into temptation, letting people, friends, criticize, judge, pry, make you feel guilty, all of that, into not growing, or the location that you're at, or the job that you're at, or the stability that you've already created, the place that you've established. If it is time for you to grow, if it is your soul is calling you a different direction, or you're being pulled in a different direction, you know it. Even if you haven't liked it and you have fought it, you know that your intuition has told you that a certain action that you need to take, a certain direction you need to go, a step in a different direction, something, anything, baby steps towards that is progress, right? It's just stagnancy that's not progress. And this is saying that in this energy is laying out for this to be very possible, and these promises to be very, to be very aware of these promises made by the universe and the doors of opportunity that open up for you in all ways, financially, physically. You're led to resources, you're led to answers, it just happens. Again, some of it is just, there's no logical way that you could explain it. And that's, I think, one of the hardest parts is that how do you explain to people when you can't logically tell them that something's happened if they don't have an inkling of the possibility of there being a belief of that it just did. It was magic. The belief in magic, right? Moving from that and showing you that those little baby steps are absolutely going to move to transforming your life. There's going to be just huge changes, a lot to do with the energy that's at play. The world point that was on the 20th, Jupiter going direct, again, that's about expansion. That's coming up, I think, on the 20th. And then obviously like the energies that are also a part of it, which are the Venus in Aries, the Mars in Aries, Mercury retrograde, and then the Mercury retrograde or Mercury going direct. So all of that is pushing you forward. And I'm here to validate that it's not just you're not going crazy. And yes, this is happening, and it's happening to all of us in different ways. I made 34 minutes. Yes. I'm always so long-winded. I have to edit out so much of it. So anyways, so hopefully I have enlightened you today. Come here, Nahla. Come here. From Nahla and I, if you guys want to see Nahla, come here, baby. Come here. Nahla, come here. Get up here. This is Nahla girl. Yeah. And from Nahla and I, we will see you guys later. Bye.